Hey, my name is Ryan with Yushu, and today I'm unboxing my Thursday Boot Heritage Captain. Yes, the Rose Anvil collaboration with Thursday Boots built on the undeniable last. And this is supposed to be the undeniable boot, the boot you can't complain about. But I've heard several complaints about it already. So in this video, I'll unbox the boots, give you my initial impressions, try them on, then go over sizing. And I'm also going to lay out a series that I'll be doing to really put these boots to the test. Because if they're as good as they seem, they might just be the best value boot that you can buy in 2025. So let's get started. As you can probably tell, this is a true unboxing. I haven't seen these boots, so we get to see them together. And the colorway I got them in is their Grand Canyon colorway, and there'll be more about that in just a moment. But basically, I'm trying to redeem myself as a boot YouTuber a little bit because I haven't been doing a great job. I've come to just enjoy buying boots and almost like collecting them, but I don't get to wear them that often, so I don't give you guys those great updates that I used to, that I kind of started my channel doing, was updating you guys on the Lewis Jet Indiana Jones boots. I've kind of gone away from that and been more of an unboxer, and I really need to go back to my roots with this, and this will be the boot that I start with. So I bought this boot using the money that I have made off of affiliate links of other brands. This is not a sponsor. I paid for this boot, but I thought you guys have purchased boots using my link, so this is how I'm going to, in a way, pay you back by putting these boots through the test and see if they've fixed the problems that I had with the Brawler boot, and see if this is the best value boot for your money. You're just getting kind of the standard Thursday unboxing, and that's okay. For the $230-ish, $240, this is what you'd expect anyway. All right, here we go. All right, so it's a lot darker than I thought. This Grand Canyon colorway, I thought it was more like a copper rough and tough, but that's not what I'm seeing here. Actually, the first thing I notice is that heel. So that heel is what drives people crazy about this boot. It does have like a nice Western inspired heel, but that slant there, if you watch Steve from Beto's Leatherworks, he did a video kind of calling out the Challenger boot on how bad this was. And in the kind of announcement about this collab, Weston from Rose Anvil said they fixed this, which this doesn't look fixed. But here's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wear this boot non-stop for a couple weeks. Now, if you know anything about my lifestyle, you know that I work from home full time, but I do go to a job site every once in a while. So what I'll be doing is I will be wearing these at home every day for multiple weeks. And I'll actually be going to the Grand Canyon for a trip. And I was going to bring some dedicated hiking boots, but I'm going to bring these things. I'm going to bring these guys to do hiking, which is going to look ridiculous, but I'm trying to see if I can really beat these up and really see if they are comfortable. Let me get the other boot out now. My initial impression, I didn't realize it came with another set of laces. That's kind of nice, I guess. My initial impressions are that the heel looks just as bad. So I'm thinking that in the announcement video, Weston kind of talked about that. And I think what they did is in their cut in half, I think they put another leather shank to kind of make the inside of the boot a little bit more level, but we're gonna have to see. And this leather looks really nice, but just a little bit darker than I was expecting. So I'm not super happy with it. And sorry, I'm on a tornado watch, so I could have to shut this down any moment, but you might hear some howling winds coming from outside. One thing, I love nubuck leather. Now, I might be crazy, but I do love a good nubuck leather. I love shell cordovan. Actually, even my favorite dress shoe I own is a sharkskin shoe. So I love high-end leathers, but I also love just a simple nubuck leather for how it ages. And I like this leather. I'm just a little bit disappointed with the color of it. I thought it was going to be lighter. And the other thing, I'm just, spitballing here. Why does Thursday dye their edge dressings like this dark color and their heel sack? I'm pretty sure that's a full leather heel sack with a thick veg tan midsole and this light boot. Like, shouldn't this be a lighter color? Like, kind of makes me think that they're hiding something. Now, I don't think they're hiding something here. I mean, this boot is $230, so you can't really go wrong with that price. But I do want to see if the complaints are true. And the main complaints I'm going to be going over is this slope. So I work from home, but I stand half of the time. So that will be kind of a nice way to tell. Me just standing straight on a hard surface, is my foot going to jam towards the toe? So after 2 weeks of doing that, after a week of hiking in the Grand Canyon, I'm going to give you an update video on how that is wearing in. Also, that midsole that's grooved, so this is supposed to be a little bit more flexible than your average boot because it has a grooved midsole. Now you can't see it here, but you can see it in the cut in half. I want to see if that holds up nicely. And lastly, we're going to do some waterproof tests. So for the gusseted tongue, I believe, yeah, it's gusseted, and we're going to do some waterproof tests on that. So that's going to be my first update. That's going to come in, about a month. Then my second update will be comparing this boot to a boot that I love, and that is an Iron Ranger. So this is actually, believe it or not, this is the Hawthorne Mule Skinner Iron Ranger that's been waxed to give it like a kind of a wax rough out, wax flesh vibe. And I love this boot, and it's an amazing boot. And I do love Iron Rangers. I've purchased like 5 over the years. This one's about 3 years old, and I think it's an amazing boot. And I think if this boot is really good, it's going to compete with the Iron Ranger and maybe even beat it. But that's what we're going to have to tell in this series. So this will be the third update. I'll be comparing these two boots, everything about them, and I'll do a dedicated just update review video on this boot too. If you're interested in that, subscribe. That'll be coming in a little bit. But now let's try these boots on and see how they are with their sizing. So I have to say, I wasn't over the moon with how these look. I'm one of those people who feels like the first day that you get a boot is the ugliest it's going to look. Once you get some patina on that, once you get it worn in, kind of more molded to your own foot, once you get it kind of loosened up, the leather, it's gonna look so much better. So I'm not super blown away with how this boot looks now, but I really feel that in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, when I get back from the Grand Canyon, it's gonna look a lot better than it looks now. But that's just my initial thoughts, or maybe it's just what I'm telling myself right now. Okay. And I'll go into more about the specs of the boot in that initial update. That'll be more of a review than this is going to be. This is kind of just a high level overview. Now Thursday, I sized 12.5. So Thursday's always had a narrower last. Well, the other captains that I bought, my diplomats, I've bought 3 pairs of diplomats, I think 3 pairs of captains. In the past, I only actually have 1 pair of diplomats left from all that. But always got 12.5, and they said get your normal size, so I think it's going to be a little bit roomy. Now, one major caveat is, believe it or not, but I have gout. I know, right? It's hereditary. My grandma had gout, my dad has gout, my brother has gout, and so right now I'm a little bit swollen from a little bit of gout in my toe, so it's going to affect the feel of this right foot only. My left foot's good. One thing, is gout not the worst name for a disease? I mean, call it some sort of arthritis or something like that. Don't call it gout. It sounds like a medieval torture device or something. I don't know. Makes me feel like I'm 1,000 years old, but that's just what we're working with. So 12.5, and that was dead on. I really thought this boot was going to be a little bit too big at 12.5, but it actually fits really, really nice. And maybe that's my gout toe talking. We'll know a little bit more when I get my non-gout foot in the boot. I like these laces. I've never replaced the laces of my Thursday boots. I think they're just good for the cost. And again, I have to look at this boot in the eyes of how much it costs. I mean, it's just a fantastic value. So far, it feels really good. And right now, my initial thoughts are, and I'm not even standing up, so this is probably pointless information, but my initial thoughts is it feels pretty flat in the heel. I'm not feeling an intense slope like I did in the Brawler boot. And I'll say, it's hard not to be biased when doing a review like this. And I'll be honest, like Rose Anvil and Weston from the channel, I'm a big fan of. I've been watching him for years, watching the channel for years. So it's going to be hard not to do a biased review because I'm a fan. But that's what I'm going to give you. I mean, I'm going to let you know how I really think of this boot. I kind of gave you a biased review of my Challenger boot when I first opened it up, that first video, because I, was biased because I'm a fan of Karl Morawski. And then later on, I've mentioned it a couple times how much I've been just unsatisfied with that boot. I'm sorry, Karl, still love your channel, just don't love that boot. But I'm gonna try to give you a super unbiased view of this boot. And so far, this one, there's a little bit more room. So that's good. I think that's what most people are going to want about that amount of room. So I'm a 12.5D on the Brannick or a 13C, and I've always worn 12.5 with Thursday boots. I got 12.5 with these Heritage Captains, and they're perfect. So let me stand up and see. The first thing is I'm liking it more and more. The more I'm kind of in the boot, looking at the boot, it's growing on me. I like that top stitch on this boot. Now these probably aren't the best pants to wear with this color. I thought this color was gonna be a lot lighter. Have I said that yet in this video? Come on, man. Yeah, they're okay. I do feel like there isn't this intense slope. So I do feel at first that they have built up. So while it looks like there's a huge slope here inside the boot, there isn't one. So this is the first day of many wearing these boots. And now let me show you what I see. Look at this transition. Oh, look at that transition. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm seeing. Get a little bit more light. It's an attractive glass. It's not super bulbous like the Iron Ranger. And we'll talk about that in about a month. But it's not super sleek like the normal Captain. So I think it's a really kind of just, good glass. It's not going to be causing any ripples, but it's also not going to be super stylized. So there's that top stitch I was talking about. Overall, pretty comfortable off the bat, I will say. It's, there's a lot of leather under your foot. It feels stiff. I'm gonna need to break that in. I'm not a huge fan of how fat this waist is. See how much room there is in the waist? That's not ideal to me, but it is what it is. That's how Truman's fit me. That's how the 79 last fits me. But again, that's that's not a $700 boot. That's a $400 boot usually. Just a $230 boot. Now, I'm assuming most people who are going to buy this boot aren't boot collectors. These are people that are going to just want one really nice heritage war style boot. And that's the lens I'm going to attack these reviews. Not as like a boot nerd, a leather nerd, more like just a normal guy who wants that lifetime heritage style boot. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching. If you watched till this point, I'll just let you know that, sorry, got a little squirrely there. I'm going to be doing updates on my Instagram with these. So go over there, follow me on Instagram. This is Yushu1, I think. And I'll be doing more updates than what you're gonna be getting on YouTube. We're gonna get this video plus 2 more guaranteed. And on Instagram, you'll just be getting random updates and hopefully a cool shot of these Grand Canyon colorway boots at the Grand Canyon. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I truly appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one.